So this is a show-sto-so, that is a short story song about what it was really like in the days of old lang hippie. Oh, the teepee was white by the willows at dawn. They were stirring the oatmeal in a tub with a pole. It was all peace and love, and meadows and flowers in the days of old lang hippie. Well, I remember it was just about the end of the month. We were waiting for Trust Fund Fran to get her check. We'd run out of toilet paper and we were using our FBI files. We had a ring of tents, some teepees, and a packing crate dome that straddled the creek. And there was an Algonquin law lodge where we met to talk peace, made out of birch bark and bent poplar poles. We told a reporter from the local newspaper that we were building a temple of the rainbow with bricks made out of the spirit of pretty colors. And the next day they sent us a building violation. Oh, the pot plants, they bloomed in the barley and rye. And we pressed up some hemp bricks with an old auto jack. And we fucked all night long by the cucumber vines in the days of old lang hippie. Well, in the next valley over lived some friends of ours that we called the Crazy Family. There was Crazy Sam, Crazy Ida, Crazy Paul, Crazy Lucy, Crazy Omar, Crazy Daisy, Crazy May, Crazy Larry, Crazy Clem, and Crazy Annie. They used to come over for midnight moon dances. We were convinced that people were going to wear primary colors and psychedelic headdresses for the next 600 years. When we hid out soldiers fleeing the war, we used their uniforms as mulch for the cantaloupe. And in the afternoon, we'd take a shower underneath a barrel of water strapped to the elm. Or sometimes we'd go over to old Farmer Fred's house on Saturday night to use Farmer Fred's shower. Boy, that was great. Nothing like 20 clean bodies to make you want to hit the van. And old Farmer Fred would be out on the porch in his bentwood rocker swatting flies and listening to the moans, listening to the moans. Oh, we built us a sauna by the edge of the creek, and we threw pecks of pot seeds on the red hot stones. Then we dashed down the hill to the waterfall in the days of old lang hippie. Well, the sheriff bought an Army surplus helicopter. We didn't mind. We looked up, "Hi, Sheriff. How you doing?" One night we gathered in the law lodge for a meeting. Someone had complained that Trust Fund Fran had the biggest teepee. That same night that Maypole Marcy, formerly Marcy the cheerleader, gave birth to a daughter. We called the daughter Euphrosyne after the grace of joy. And we carried Euphrosyne and Maypole Marcy and laid them down on a soft mound of club moss in the meadow. And then we got out our guitars and we got out our harmonicas, and dancers with peacock feather belts twirled in the moondark, singing of the transmigration of souls. Oh, it was a time we'll never forget. Oh, the yodels of peace they flowed through the ferns, and we thought there'd be sharing for 10,000 years, and cheap auto parts, and food for a smile in the days of old Lang Hippie. Well, most of us were asleep when the dark turned gray, and just after sunup, Bomb Anywhere for $50 bill drove over from Haight Holler to Mooch Breakfast. Bomb Anywhere for $50 bill made his usual proposition, the one that was always easy to refuse. Gee, no thanks, Bill. I don't think there's anybody we want to bomb today. I don't know. Then he broke his axle, crossing the creek to Wanna Quickie Wanda's treehouse. And Napalm Ned was up and out in the garden, raking and hoeing, when the wappa, 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 wappa of the helicopter was heard, and soon there was the dust and sirens of police vans driving over the ridge to arrest us. Oh, the sheriff's men met at Murphy's garage. They were testing their gas masks, waiting for dawn. It's an orange sunshine day with flashbacks and glee in the days of old Lang Hippie. Well, when Napalm Ned heard the wappa 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 of the chopper over the sauna, it made Napalm Ned think he was back in Vietnam. The sweat poured down on his in-the-war headband, and a wild look of fright covered his face. Napalm Ned ran down the hill with the hoe in his hand toward the sheriff, shouting, "Charlie, Charlie!" Then one of the deputies raised an automatic rifle and fired a quick burst across the dirt of the cornrows, and it shattered a cow skull on the side of the dome. And everybody was awake by then. There were enough screams to build a ladder to heaven. And we were handcuffed on a big chain and led up the hill to the vans. While behind us, as all of us shouted and wept, Napalm Ned and Trust Fund Fran lay cold on the ground, and red foam trickled in the creek. Oh, the hummingbirds did in the wild columbines, and we weave a wild garland of ox-eyes and flax. It's a long, long, long path from bloodshed and chains and the days of old.